The following is a summary of Atomic Habits, a book by James Clear, providing a detailed exploration of the book's key concepts, frameworks, examples, and actionable strategies. This dives into Clear's arguments and elaborates on the psychological and practical underpinnings of his advice. Atomic Habits is a transformative guide to building good habits and breaking bad ones through small, incremental changes that compound over time. And this summary aims to reflect its depth and nuance. Introduction: The power of tiny changes. James Clear opens Atomic Habits with a gripping personal anecdote. A near-fatal baseball injury in high school that shattered his face and derailed his dreams of athletic stardom. Forced to rebuild his life from scratch, Clear discovered the power of small, consistent actions, like practicing basic skills daily, to reclaim his health and identity. This experience shapes the book's central premise. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Just as a few cents saved daily can grow into a fortune, tiny behavioral adjustments, when repeated, lead to exponential progress. Clear argues that we overestimate dramatic, overnight success and undervalue the subtle power of consistency. He promises readers not a quick fix, but a science-backed system for lasting change. The book's focus is on systems, the processes that drive results, rather than goals, which are fleeting. He sets out to debunk myths, for example, habits form in 21 days, and provide a practical framework rooted in psychology, neuroscience, and real-world evidence, making Atomic Habits both a manifesto and a manual. The fundamentals of habits. Chapter 1. The surprising power of atomic habits. Clear introduces the concept of atomic habits, small, seemingly insignificant actions that, when compounded, produce remarkable outcomes. He illustrates this with the story of the British cycling team, which transformed from a laughingstock to Olympic champions under coach Dave Brailsford. Brailsford's strategy, dubbed the aggregation of marginal gains, involved improving every aspect of cycling, bike design, nutrition, even hand-washing habits, by just 1%. Over years, these tweaks led to dominance. This principle applies to personal life too. Clear uses math to drive it home. Improving by 1% daily for a year yields a 37-fold increase, while declining by 1% daily leaves you near zero. He contrasts this with the compounding damage of bad habits, like smoking or procrastination, which erode progress slowly but surely. The takeaway? Focus on getting a little better each day, and let time work its magic. Chapter 2. How your habits shape your identity, and vice versa. Clear shift from outcomes to identity, arguing that true change starts with who you believe you are. He presents a three-layer model of behavior change. 1. Outcomes. What you achieve, for example, losing 10 pounds. 2. Processes. What you do, for example, exercising daily. 3. Identity. What you believe, for example, I'm a fit person. Most people fixate on outcomes, but Clear insists identity drives lasting habits. For example, someone who says, I'm trying to quit smoking is less likely to succeed than someone who declares, I'm not a smoker. Every habit you perform is a vote for your desired identity. Over time, these votes pile up, reshaping your self-image. Clear shares his own shift from sporadic writer to I am a writer by committing to daily writing, proving that habits reinforce belief. Chapter 3. How to build better habits in 4 simple steps. Here, Clear unveils his foundational framework. The habit loop, drawn from Charles Duhigg's The Power of Habit and refined with fresh insights. The loop has 4 stages. 1. Cue. The trigger that sparks the habit, for example, a phone notification. 2. Craving. The desire it evokes. 3. Response. The action you take, for example, scrolling. 4. Reward. The payoff that reinforces it, for example, entertainment. Habits form because this loop wires behaviors into our brains. To master habits, Clear offers 4 laws. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying, each tied to a stage. He promises to unpack these laws in detail, providing a blueprint for building good habits and dismantling bad ones. The 4 laws of behavior change. Law 1. Make it obvious. Chapters 4 to 6 explore how cues drive habits. Many behaviors are automatic, triggered by subtle environmental signals, like grabbing a snack when you see the kitchen counter. To build good habits, make cues blatant. Pointing and calling. Borrowed from Japanese railways, this involves verbalizing actions to boost awareness. For example, I'm about to drink water. Habit stacking. Link a new habit to an existing one. For example, after I pour coffee, I'll stretch for 1 minute. Clear credits this to BJ Fogg's behavior model. Environment design. Arrange your space to prompt action. For example, place running shoes by the door. 4 bad habits. Hide cues. Store cookies out of sight or delete distracting apps. Clear cites a study of hospital cafeteria staff who reduced soda intake when water was made more visible, showing how environment trumps willpower. He argues that self-control is overrated. The best habit builders design their world to avoid temptation. Law 2. Make it attractive. Chapters 7 to 9 focus on cravings, the emotional pull behind habits. Neuroscience shows dopamine spikes not when we get a reward, but when we anticipate it, making desire the engine of action. To make habits enticing. Temptation bundling. Pair a duty with a pleasure, for example. Watch Netflix only while on a treadmill. Clear shares how he saved audiobooks for gym sessions. Reframe mindsets. Shift perspective, for example. I get to work out versus I have to. This taps into gratitude, amplifying motivation. Social norms. Join a group where your habit is normal, like a book club for reading. Clear references evolutionary psychology. We mimic tribes to fit in. To break bad habits, make them unappealing. He suggests visualizing downsides. For example, junk food clogs my arteries, to flip the craving. Clear's example of a smoker who quit by associating cigarettes with sickness highlights this tactic's power. Law 3. Make it easy. Chapters 10 to 12 emphasize simplicity. The harder a habit, the less likely it sticks. Effort is the enemy of consistency. Strategies include the 2-minute rule. Shrink habits to a starter step. For instance, put on workout clothes instead of run 5 miles. Clear says this gateway action builds momentum. Reduce friction. Eliminate obstacles, for example, prep meals in advance. He contrasts this with adding friction to bad habits, like locking snacks in a safe. Prime the environment. Set up for success, for instance, lay out art supplies to paint. Clear recounts how a photographer boosted output by keeping his camera ready. He cites the story of a man who lost weight by committing to just 1 minute on a treadmill daily, proving small starts snowball. For bad habits, increase hassle. For example, unplug the gaming console. Clear's mantra: action beats motivation every time. Law 4. Make it satisfying reward. Chapters 13 to 15 tackle reinforcement. Habits stick when they feel good. Immediate rewards matter more than delayed ones. Tactics include habit tracking. Use a calendar or app to mark completions. Clear shares Jerry Seinfeld's "don't break the chain" method, where excess fuel streaks. Add a quick payoff, for example, a warm bath after studying. He notes our brains prioritize short-term pleasure. Accountability partners. Tell someone your plan. Social pressure locks it in. Clear describes a writer who paid a friend $50 for missed deadlines. For bad habits, make them painful. For example, donate to a rival team if you smoke. Clear stresses that satisfaction cements habits. Without it, they wither. He ties this to B.F. Skinner's operant conditioning. Rewards shape behavior. Advanced strategies and insights. Chapter 16. How to stick with good habits every day. Consistency is the bedrock of habits, Clear argues. He introduces never miss twice. If you skip a day, rebound immediately to avoid a slump. Habit tracking shines here. Seeing a streak, for example, 30 days of meditation, motivates you to protect it. He also advocates the 1% better mindset. Tiny gains stack up. Clear shares how he wrote Atomic Habits by drafting 2 pages daily, amassing a book over years. Chapter 17. How an accountability partner can change everything. Social stakes amplify commitment. Clear tells a man who hired a stranger to watch him write, finishing a script under scrutiny. Accountability contracts, like betting money on gym visits, work too. He cites a study where dieters paired with partners lost more weight, proving external eyes sharpen focus. Clear encourages readers to enlist friends, coaches, or even public declarations, for example, posting goals online. Chapter 18. The truth about talent, when genes matter and when they don't. Clear addresses nature versus nurture. Genes influence ability. Height aids basketball. Metabolism affects weight, but habits determine outcomes. He advises aligning habits with strengths. Extroverts thrive in social settings, introverts in solitude. Clear shares how he, a night owl, schedules writing for evenings. Effort, not talent, bridges most gaps. Systems outshine raw potential. Chapter 19. The Goldilocks Rule. How to stay motivated. Motivation peaks when tasks are just right. Not too easy, not too hard. Clear calls this the Goldilocks zone, linking it to Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's flow state. For example, a tennis player stays engaged facing a matched opponent. To apply this, adjust difficulty, for example. Add weights as lifting gets easy. Clear recounts a weightlifter who plateaued until tweaking reps, reigniting progress. Chapter 20. The downside of creating good habits. Good habits can stagnate into ruts. Clear warns of autopilot. Running the same route daily may bore you. He advocates reflection. Review habits yearly to ensure they serve evolving goals. Mastery blends repetition with adaptation. He shares how athletes tweak routines to avoid burnout, urging readers to stay flexible. Conclusion. The secret to results that last. Clear ties the book together with a rallying cry. Embrace the process. Habits aren't a finish line, but a lifestyle. He revisits the 1% math, 37 times better in a year, and urges patience. Success lies in showing up, even imperfectly. The appendices offer tools like habit trackers and cheat sheets, reinforcing practicality. This book delves into Clear's examples, psychological roots, and nuanced advice. Atomic Habits excels by merging science, habit loops, flow theory, with stories and steps anyone can follow. It's less about willpower than strategy, making change feel approachable. Key lessons. Identity drives behavior. Small steps compound. Systems beat goals. Environment shapes success. Clear's genius is making the mundane profound. Brushing teeth becomes a vote for health. This expanded summary reflects that depth, offering a thorough guide to his transformative ideas.